There is not one single thing that you do not already have that would make you happy. That's a very strong statement. There is not one single thing that would make you, that you don't already have, that would make you happy. The key to happiness is gratitude. Think of the key to the lock that opens that treasure chest. The key to the kingdom, the key to heaven right here on earth is gratitude. Several years ago, I taught a confirmation class, and I had all the youngsters bring what are mottos for their lives, what are sayings, what is common sense, what do they pick up, what are the wisdom, the day-to-day wisdom they live by, and interview their parents and their grandparents and bring it back to our class. And one of the teenagers, she said, "This is what I got. Don't wait to be grateful in order to be happy, but practice gratitude and you'll discover yourself to be happy. Practice gratitude and you'll discover yourself to be happy." So don't wait until you're happy to recognize the beauty, the gifts, the treasures. How do we appreciate what is already? What is right at our fingertips, the treasures? What do you have that is not a gift? What is it you have that is not a gift in one way or another? Now, Meister Eckhart from the Middle Ages, he's one of those sages, a spiritual giant. And he said, if the only prayer you say is thank you, that's enough. So the only prayer in all of your lifetime is thank you. It suffices. It's enough. You can understand that on the surface and think like, duh. Or you can go a little bit deeper and think of when you come from the place that life itself is a gift, life itself is precious, it's a treasure, it's fragile. Here it is. And have something well up in you, a gratitude, a gratefulness that really makes a difference. So thank you. That's, if I would want to give you one single thing for today, if you take one single thing for this week, for your life, think of this thank you, the gratitude. It'll change your life now. I'm convinced of it. Because I practice it, I've experienced it. Think of a couple of confirmation classes later. We did the gratitude journal for a while. And each and every one, we have one of these small journals for you. So during the offertory, Bob Engel will go around. If you have not received one yet, you will receive one. So I asked the confirmants, every night, write down 3 things you're grateful for. Keep it right on your nightstand. The only requirement, every night, write something different you're grateful for. Not something you wrote yesterday. And then in the evening, they were reflective. You look through the day and you think, and there are some things that stand out, some things you may have taken for granted in the situation, but when you write them down, you know what it does? It helps you focus. It helps you look for the sunshine. It helps you look for the blessings, for the beauty. It helps you, and usually we all know what you're looking for, that's what you see, isn't it? You may have seen this YouTube. There's this funny YouTube. They're playing basketball. There's the blue team, there's the red team. And the presenter says, focus exactly on those players. And they're playing and fighting each other. And afterwards, he's asking them, what did you see? Did you see anything else but the players? But there was this Bigfoot that walked through the whole window, through the whole screen. Anyone seen that? It's just Google it, my friends, on YouTube. A Bigfoot walking behind the basketball players. No one saw Bigfoot. Why? Because you were focusing on the players. What you look for is what you see. So when you look for sunshine, when you look for blessings, when you start counting blessings, like that song goes, count your blessings. Yeah, I need a fresh mint or a cough drop or something. Count your blessings, name them one by one. See what God has done. Very practically, give you an example of how I sometimes practice gratitude. Eating a meal, rather than gobbling it up, just stopping for a while. And sometimes I do the gobbling. It's just, I want to get to the next thing, so I just gobble. But sometimes I stop and then I think of, well, from where did this come from? Where did it grow? Whose hands touched it? There was a farmer somehow involved in that grain that grew. There was sunshine. There was rain. It just didn't grow all on its own. There was someone tending a garden. There was someone involved to grow the wheat when I eat a bread. There was someone who tended the garden, someone who cared for the animals, someone who provided. There is something. There were people transporting that all to a mill. It was ground, it was baked, it was, wow. So think of everyone who had a hand in that meal to make it happen, what you eat. Whoa, it's way more than we usually think about, isn't it? Oh, one small little way how you can think of it and how you can practice gratitude. Now, think of yourself. If you would be paralyzed from the waist down and you could not walk, what would you give to be able to be walking again? Think of yourself, you cannot see anymore, you're blind. What would you give to be able to see again? A whole lot, my friends, a whole lot. Well, guess what? You can walk, you can see. It's a whole lot. Martin Reichert, he was a pastor in the 1600s during the 30-year war. A lot of fighting. People estimate that about half to a third of citizens of whole Northern Europe died during the 30-year-old war. Half of the citizens of what is Germany today. Whoa! There was not just a war going on, there was the plague, the bubonic plague going on, the Black Death. So he did funerals and funerals and funerals every day, every week. Loads and loads of funerals. Even some of his own children died. Right in the midst of that 30-year war. Right in the midst of all the heartache and the heartbreak, he wrote, "Now thank we all our God with hearts and hands and voices." my gosh, if he could do that in that hell of a life, what keeps you from living gratefully? What keeps you from counting blessings? What keeps you from that? Please stand. Now, I ask you, don't be shy when Bob walks around with those journals, Bob. Yes, you can go through the middle aisle, and if you don't have one, even if you don't have yours with you right now, just Bob. Okay. Wow, good. And if you want to take one to someone, that's good too. We'll have them out on the table in the foyer too. Now, this is time for intermission too. If you need a potty break, now is the time. Yeah, I get the hairy eyeball. But I ask you, for yourself, we'll have a couple of quotes on there on the screen, and they all relate to our scripture readings. The real healing of the Samaritan who was struggling with leprosy happened in a second step when he discovered and when he expressed gratitude. So healing comes in different ways. Mostly, or often, it's just the cure. The real healing goes deeper to our hearts and souls, and that happens with him in connection with the living Christ there in the healing. So I encourage you, count blessings, write down what you're grateful for, and an extra challenge. Is there something hard, something you struggled with, something you were facing unexpectedly in the past, for which you're grateful today. It's a challenging thing, I tell you why. Because in the situation often, I don't like it, I dread it, it hurts, it's suffering, it's not pretty. And then wrestling comes, and then something happens. And looking back, I discover I would not have grown in faith. I would not have developed. I would not be who I am today without that heartbreak. So look back over your life. Is there something that was very, very challenging and hard in the past for which you are grateful today?